Lassen Peak, Mount Shasta, and Long Valley are all still considered to have a very high threat. California's stunning Mount Shasta and the tranquil Long Valley caldera may look like scenes from a postcard, but beneath their beauty lies a ticking time bomb. These landscapes aren't just peaceful retreats. They're home to deadly hot springs, unpredictable geothermal forces, and one of the most dangerous volcanic systems on Earth. From sudden life-threatening temperature spikes and hot pools to the looming threat of a massive eruption, are we unknowingly living on the brink of disaster? Brace yourselves, because what's brewing underground could change everything. The vital role of hot springs in Long Valley caldera. Hot springs play a critical role in the Long Valley caldera, offering more than just serene beauty. They're a living testament to the volatile geothermal forces bubbling just beneath the surface. These springs, nestled within this ancient supervolcano, are not just a fascinating display of Earth's geothermal power, but also a glaring warning sign of the unpredictable forces lurking below. And with NASA's recent findings, there's growing concern that this picturesque region may be standing on the edge of catastrophic change. One of the most captivating aspects is the hydrothermal water discharge, especially at Hot Creek Gorge, which alone accounts for about 80% of the total thermal water release in the caldera. But this impressive flow is not just a marvel of natural engineering. It's a potential indicator of mounting pressures deep within the Earth's crust. Every gush of superheated water speaks to the intense thermal activity beneath, activity that scientists warn could be a precursor to something far more dangerous. These springs, while visually stunning and often drawing in curious tourists, hide dangerous secrets under their deceptively calm surface. The hydrothermal system, primarily powered by snowmelt from the towering highlands, carries water deep below the surface, where it encounters unimaginable heat. As this water rises back to the surface, it transforms into scalding, boiling pools, with some springs reaching temperatures as high as 220 degrees Celsius, enough to cause instant fatal burns to anyone unlucky enough to come too close. The serene bubbling of these springs often lulls visitors into a false sense of security, leading many to underestimate the true dangers lurking below. However, the consequences can be deadly. Over the years, the caldera has claimed the lives of those who dared to dip their toes into what seemed like tranquil waters, unaware of the violent fluctuations in temperature that can occur without warning. In a matter of seconds, the ground beneath can shift, releasing a surge of boiling water that turns a peaceful bath into a deadly trap. For those who have survived, the scars, both physical and emotional, serve as a grim reminder of just how treacherous these springs can be. But it's not just the physical danger that has experts worried. NASA's close monitoring of the Long Valley caldera reveals an alarming connection between these seemingly random temperature spikes and the potential for a much larger disaster. Each thermal pulse, each geyser-like release of steam could be a signal, a warning that the caldera is waking up. The springs are more than just hot spots. They are pressure release valves for the intense heat and gas building deep underground. And if that pressure continues to rise unchecked, it could lead to something much more devastating. The volcanic history of the Long Valley caldera is no secret. This supervolcano last erupted over 760,000 years ago, but its potential for a future eruption remains an ever-present threat. The geothermal activity we see in the hot springs today is only a fraction of the power still simmering beneath the Earth's surface. According to scientists, the increased hydrothermal activity in the region could be an ominous sign of the magma chamber below growing restless, inching closer to a critical tipping point. With NASA now focusing their attention on California's dormant volcanoes, there is growing concern that the Long Valley caldera may not remain dormant for much longer. The fact that these hot springs continue to bubble and boil is not just a testament to the caldera's incredible geothermal processes, but also a reminder that this ancient giant is still very much alive and capable of waking up with little to no warning. Could these natural wonders be a precursor to something much bigger? Are the hot springs merely the first cracks in what could become a full-blown volcanic disaster? As NASA's experts dive deeper into their analysis, the findings are growing more troubling by the day. Could the peaceful landscape of the Long Valley caldera soon become the epicenter of a catastrophic volcanic event? These questions leave us on edge, especially as the caldera's geothermal activity shows no sign of slowing down. With the caldera's massive magma chamber lurking just miles beneath the surface, the stakes couldn't be higher. The hot springs, once seen as serene pools of natural beauty, may soon become the heralds of an impending eruption, one that could catch the entire world off guard. The fascinating hydrothermal journey of Long Valley's waters. In the heart of the Long Valley caldera, water embarks on a journey like no other, revealing not only the majesty of the Earth's hidden forces, but also the unsettling reality of what lies beneath. It begins innocently enough, snowmelt and rainfall, seemingly ordinary, trickling down from the highlands. But what happens next is nothing short of a geological transformation. As this water descends, plummeting kilometers beneath the surface, it encounters a world we rarely think about. An inferno of searing hot rocks, the remnants of ancient volcanic activity that refuse to rest. Once the water reaches these intense depths, it's as if it enters a different dimension, far removed from the cool tranquility of the surface. The rocks, superheated by the residual volcanic heat, transform this once pure, cool water into a cauldron of boiling energy. Under immense pressure, the water surges upward, driven not by choice but by the sheer force of the heat and pressure below. The ground beneath our feet, a solid and stable presence to the untrained eye, becomes a path of fractures and faults through which this scalding water escapes, carrying with it not just heat, but the untold secrets of the Earth's volatile past. As it ascends, however, the water's journey is far from linear. It doesn't simply rush back to the surface in a direct line. Instead, it meanders through a complex maze of subterranean channels. Imagine the caldera as a vast living organism, with arteries of hot water weaving through its body, moving laterally beneath the Earth's surface. This journey takes the water on a winding, unpredictable path, mixing with cooler groundwater, creating an intriguing and often dangerous interplay between scalding heat and cooler surface waters. By the time this water reaches Hot Creek or Crowley Lake, it may have lost some of its heat, but the danger hasn't diminished. This delicate balance between extremes, boiling heat and cooler, more tolerable temperatures, creates a fragile equilibrium. One small shift, one disturbance in the ground, can disrupt this balance, unleashing a sudden thermal surge capable of turning a calm spring into a deadly hazard. These hot springs, serene as they may seem, are the final chapter of the hydrothermal journey, where water that's traveled kilometers beneath the Earth's surface finally breaks free. But this escape is not always peaceful. Beneath their tranquil surfaces, the springs are boiling cauldrons, biding their time until the next violent release of scalding water. This release can come with little warning. A sudden burst of steam or a quick temperature spike can transform a placid spring into an explosive geyser, hurling boiling water into the air, posing a serious and often fatal threat to those who stand too close. It's not just the sheer heat that's dangerous, it's the unpredictability of these springs. On the surface, they appear calm, even inviting to unsuspecting tourists, but the water that erupts from these springs is a reminder that the Earth beneath us is anything but stable. As NASA has been closely monitoring the region, they've noted subtle changes in the geothermal activity that hint at larger forces at play. The water's journey may seem like a natural wonder, but it's also part of a much more ominous system of pressures building below. What adds even more complexity to this hydrothermal network is its potential to act as a natural thermometer for the caldera itself. Each pulse of hot water, each eruption from the springs, is a sign that the Earth is shifting, adapting, perhaps preparing for something bigger. The very channels that guide this water upward could be the same conduits through which magma and gases may one day travel. Scientists believe that the rise of superheated water could be an early indicator of volcanic activity slowly waking beneath the caldera. This underground labyrinth of hot and cold water mixing and churning beneath the Long Valley caldera is more than a fascinating geological process. It's a fragile system that could easily tip out of balance. When it does, the consequences could be far more severe than just a scalding spring. These waters are a silent messenger of the forces at play below, and as NASA continues to study the region, there is growing concern that this hydrothermal journey may soon lead to a more explosive destination. Tourism and tragedy. Long Valley Caldera is a paradox of stunning natural beauty intertwined with hidden dangers, drawing countless adventurers every year yet holding dark secrets beneath its serene landscape. It's no surprise that people flock to this vast region, home to some of California's most breathtaking outdoor recreation activities. From its snow-capped peaks to its rugged terrain, Long Valley offers everything from world-class skiing to heart-pounding off-road driving. The allure of the caldera is irresistible for those seeking both adrenaline-fueled thrills and peaceful escapes into nature's grandeur. At the center of this magnetism is the Mammoth Mountain Ski Area, a crown jewel for snow lovers and adrenaline junkies alike. With its pristine slopes, Mammoth Mountain offers not only some of the finest skiing and snowboarding in the world, but also a mountain biking haven when the snow melts. Thousands of tourists and locals flock to its trails and lifts each season, experiencing the exhilaration of gliding down the mountainside with breathtaking views of the caldera stretching out before them. It feels like an idyllic escape, a place where nature provides both beauty and adventure in equal measure. But even as people revel in the thrill of the landscape, there's an underlying tension, a sense that the ground beneath them isn't as stable as it seems. Many tourists remain blissfully unaware of the geothermal forces churning just beneath their feet. These forces have shaped the caldera for millennia and continue to do so, sometimes with tragic results. What seems like a serene and welcoming environment can turn deadly in the blink of an eye. One such reminder of the unpredictable dangers occurred in 2006 when the popular Hot Creek swimming area was suddenly closed to the public. What was once a beloved spot for swimmers to enjoy warm, mineral-rich waters became too hazardous due to increased geothermal activity. Visitors had marveled at the natural beauty for years, but the area's temperamental nature had other plans. Temperatures spiked unpredictably, and in some cases, the springs boiled over without warning, spewing scalding water that could easily cause severe injury or worse. No longer a place of tranquil relaxation, Hot Creek became a dangerous hazard, too volatile for public use. But it was that same year, in 2006, when tragedy struck in an even more horrifying way. 3 ski patrollers, performing routine safety checks on Mammoth Mountain, fell into a fumarole, a volcanic vent that emits hot gases, including deadly carbon dioxide. As they plummeted into the hidden chasm, they succumbed to the invisible, odorless gas in moments, unable to escape. The event shocked the local community and sent ripples of fear through the outdoor enthusiasts who called the mountain their playground. It was a chilling reminder that beneath the surface, this landscape still pulses with danger, its geothermal activity as lethal as it is inspiring. This tragic event stands as a somber marker for what lies beneath the picturesque vistas of the Long Valley caldera. The natural beauty that draws in thousands of tourists each year also conceals a volatile and dangerous underworld. From unexpected geyser eruptions to carbon dioxide-filled fumaroles, the risk is present, lurking silently beneath the surface, waiting for the right conditions to make itself known. Yet despite these well-documented risks, tourism in Long Valley has only grown. New generations of adventurers are eager to explore its offerings, often oblivious to the fragile balance between natural wonder and catastrophic threat. Visitors hike, ski, fish, and bike in the caldera's expansive terrain, rarely considering the fact that they're treading atop one of the world's largest and most active supervolcanoes. This delicate dance between adventure and peril makes Long Valley an ever more intriguing destination, but it also demands that its visitors maintain a deep respect for the forces at play. It's not just the visible hazards like the fumaroles and hot springs that pose threats. The entire caldera is part of a much larger geological system that could shift at any moment, sending ripples through the ground that might trigger new eruptions or open up new dangerous vents in unexpected locations. The risk is real, and it's always looming just beneath the surface. Adding to this is the growing interest in geothermal energy exploration in the area. Scientists and engineers are looking to tap into the very forces that have made Long Valley so hazardous, hoping to harness the geothermal heat as a renewable energy source. While the potential for clean energy is exciting, it also raises concerns about further disrupting the already volatile landscape. Could increased drilling and energy extraction trigger more instability? Could this lead to even more frequent and unpredictable eruptions of steam, gas, or hot water? The region's delicate balance, already on a knife's edge, could be further tested by human activity. For every skier, hiker, and fisherman who visits Long Valley, there is an unseen risk that they might become the next victim of its unpredictable forces. As the popularity of the region continues to rise, so too does the chance that another catastrophic event might claim more lives. It's a stark reminder that the Earth is alive beneath us, constantly shifting and sometimes striking back when least expected. The majestic and mysterious Mount Shasta, towering high above the Northern California landscape, stands as both a natural wonder and a subject of fascination, casting its immense shadow over the region. Rising to a staggering 14,179 feet, this awe-inspiring giant commands respect, not only for its size but for the mysteries it holds within. As the second highest peak in the Cascade Range, Mount Shasta's presence is more than just a visual spectacle. It's a geological titan whose very existence is etched into the volcanic history of the Pacific Northwest. Scientists remain vigilant in their monitoring of Mount Shasta, knowing full well that despite its outward tranquility, it remains a sleeping giant. The mountain's history of eruptions and the potential for future activity keep geologists on edge. With each passing year, as more data is gathered, a clearer picture of Shasta's volcanic behavior emerges. Yet the uncertainty lingers. Could it erupt again in our lifetime? The answer is far from settled. Some estimates suggest that Shasta erupts once every 600 to 800 years, meaning we may already be within the window for its next awakening. It's a ticking clock, albeit one with an unpredictable hand. But Mount Shasta is more than just a geological wonder. It occupies a unique place in human imagination and spirituality, drawing in people from all walks of life who feel a magnetic pull toward its slopes. Long before modern adventurers set foot on the mountain, it was held in deep reverence by Native American tribes, particularly the Shasta, Modoc, and Wintu peoples. To them, Shasta was not merely a mountain, but a sacred site, a place where earthly and spiritual realms intersect. Stories passed down through generations speak of Shasta as a dwelling place for powerful spirits, guardians of the land, and mystical forces that shape the natural world. For outdoor enthusiasts and adventurers, Mount Shasta offers a variety of thrilling expeditions. Climbers are drawn to its challenging routes, especially during the summer months when the snow begins to recede, revealing jagged rock formations and steep inclines. Despite the challenges, the reward of standing atop Shasta's summit, gazing out at the vast expanse of the Cascade Range, is a life-changing experience. Yet, as with everything about this mountain, the journey to the top is not without its risks. The terrain can be unpredictable, with sudden storms and shifting snowfields catching even the most experienced climbers off guard. Adding to the mountain's mystique is the presence of glaciers, a rare feature for a volcano in such a temperate region. Shasta is home to 7 glaciers, including the Whitney and Bolam glaciers, which slowly creep down its northern slopes. These massive rivers of ice are a testament to the power of nature, carving out the landscape in a slow-motion dance that has been ongoing for thousands of years. But like everything else on Mount Shasta, the glaciers are not immune to the broader changes happening in the world. As global temperatures rise, these glaciers are retreating, altering the mountain's appearance and raising concerns about the long-term environmental impact on the surrounding ecosystem. Mount Shasta's potential danger is often overshadowed by its majesty, but the threat is real and ever-present. Lahar flows, massive landslides of volcanic debris and water, are one of the most significant hazards associated with the mountain. In the event of a major eruption, these deadly flows could sweep down the slopes with little warning, destroying everything in their path. The region's history is littered with evidence of past lahars, and while the town of Mount Shasta at the base of the mountain continues to thrive, it lives with the knowledge that a future eruption could trigger catastrophic consequences for the surrounding communities. What's clear, though, is that Mount Shasta captivates in ways few mountains can. It's a place where the natural world and the supernatural seem to converge, where ancient geology meets modern exploration, and where danger and beauty exist in a fragile balance. Whether it's the spiritual seekers who claim to feel the mountain's energy or the geologists who pore over its every tremor, one thing is certain: Mount Shasta is much more than a dormant volcano. It is a living entity, full of mysteries that may never be fully unraveled. Mount Shasta is not merely a geological marvel. It is a tapestry woven with legends that capture the imagination. Many Native American tribes, including the Shasta and Wintu, regard the mountain as sacred, a powerful place where the physical and spiritual realms intersect. According to their traditions, the mountain is the dwelling place of supernatural beings, including the revered figure of Skell, a creator god who is said to have shaped the land and its people. Tales of these beings persist,